I knew this would happen. The DNC is coming out with anti-Dr. Jill Stein campaign ads now. Democrats are in complete desperation at this point to try and derail the third-party movement. And that means if you're a Green Party voter, a Libertarian voter, independent voter, it is abundantly clear that Democrats view as an enemy, as a threat, and they will bully all of you into trying to forcing you to feel guilty about not supporting Kamala Harris. So we got this video here from Case Study QB. And of course, there's a couple of videos that I want to play in which Jill Stein and a running mate, Butch Ware, are both calling out the hypocrisy of the two-party system. But before we play those awesome videos, give it up for Case Study QB. I don't know how you sit through it. Mika from Morning Blow. Mika, blink twice if you need help. Here's the anti-Jill Stein ad.
Obviously, Democrats want to leave no stone unturned, and the Democratic National Committee even has this new ad about the danger of the undervote or those who may vote for Jill Stein.
Oh, no. It's a danger, guys. Oh, won't anyone think of these poor third-party voters? They're being misled. Right here. Sit on and spin on it, liberals. My audience ain't buying it. We don't care. F off, F off, F off. Nobody cares. I encourage you, my audience, do whatever the hell you want on election night. World's your oyster on this one. You got the Hardlands media approval.
Just like 3% of the vote. Take a look.
Jill Stein, Green Party candidate for president.
Uh-oh.
So why are Trump's close allies helping her? Stein was key to Trump's 2016 wins in battleground states.
Oh my God.
She's not sorry she helped Trump win. That's why a vote for Stein is really a vote for Trump.
Jill Stein, I like her very much. You know why? She takes 100% from them.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
You know what, Democrats? This ad is going to help out the Green Party, and I hope that for this on election night, that the Green Party gets maybe 5 or more percentage of the vote just to trigger you libs. I mean, I really, really hope that's the case because Kamala Harris is such a flawed candidate. Listen to this again one more time, folks. Because they got the music like da, 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 da. Jill, this is Jill Stein. She's running for president, and she helped Trump. She wants Trump to win. A vote for Jill Stein is a vote for Trump. No, you stupid freaking morons, and especially to you liberals out there listening. I hope you're listening. Don't worry. Don't be afraid. My audience won't bite you. You're welcome. We got libertarians in my audience. We got Green Party people in my audience. We got independents. We got socialists. And yes, we even got Trumpers in my audience. Don't worry, liberals. Don't be afraid. But you guys are acting very stupid right now. And liberals, I love you, but you are not serious people. Because a vote for Jill Stein is a vote for Jill Stein because said candidate, Dr. Jill Stein, maybe earned said vote, just like Chase Oliver of the Libertarian Party will earn votes, just like Dr. Cornel West, just like even Kamala or Trump. A vote for a candidate means that said voter believes that candidate earned their vote. Me voting for the Green Party is not a vote for the Republican Party. And if you guys are so upset about it, maybe, I don't know, Democrats and liberals, you could have helped lead the charge of not only getting rid of the Electoral College system, which is antiquated. No other democracy or republic has that. And also maybe support ranked choice voting. And then maybe Democrats, if you weren't so afraid, you wouldn't be on such a warpath to remove Jill Stein from the ballot. Democrats, if you're girl Kamala Harris is so popular and strong and tough and smart, then she should debate Jill Stein. If you're so confident in her ability to be strong, she shouldn't be afraid to debate Dr. Jill Stein of the Green Party or Chase Oliver or anybody else. But no, you don't do that, liberals, do you? You do the stupid thing. You play stupid campaign ads, and then you start using the law to remove third parties and independents from the ballot. And you also implement policies in which prohibit third parties and independents from being on a debate stage because maybe you're afraid of getting owned in front of the American people. You see, Democrats, you're not as tough as you think you are. You're actually very scared and fragile. Why do you let your fragility take advantage of you? You should be better, but you're not. Because Democrats and liberals, you're not serious people, especially with campaign ads like this.
Jill Stein, Green Party candidate for president. So why are Trump's close allies helping her? Stein was key to Trump's 2016 wins in battleground states. She's not sorry she helped Trump win. That's why a vote for Stein is really a vote for Trump.
Oh, no!
I like her very much. You know why? She takes 100% from them.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
So sure, offer up all the ideas of what more Harris could be doing in these few remaining days before the election. At the same time, it's actually you, the American voter, who needs to step up.
I don't have to do shite, Mika. I don't have to do anything. And my audience, you don't have to do anything either. Folks, the world is your oyster. On election night, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat a ribeye steak. It's going to be delicious. And when the liberals start crying if they lose, I'm going to be drinking a whole lot of liberal tears. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. But let's also go ahead and actually hear the counter argument from Butch, Ware, and Dr. Jill Stein.
The Democratic Party, as currently constituted, is a dead man walking. And I know that it's hard for people that have made long-term investments in that party to understand that, but they cannot win. And they had everything, just a couple of years ago, and they threw it all away by going completely corporate, selling out to AIPAC, selling out to the war machine, and making themselves completely indistinguishable from the militarized fascists on the extreme right. And they're going to pay the cost for that now. So then this becomes the question. What are you going to do with your vote? And Muslims, as you said, are already making that decision. They are going to invest in producing an actual third-party alternative, right? In actually empowering the only group that doesn't stand for imperialism abroad and fascism at home. Because, by the way, while everyone is fear-mongering and telling you that you have to vote blue, otherwise you're going to get fascism, the Democrats are the ones in democratic cities, in democratic states that have been sending cops to college campuses like mine, where they came in riot gear to remove a student encampment. This Trump boogeyman is a fiction. Fascism is here now. We already live in an environment where people are afraid to speak out on Gaza because they're afraid to lose their job. We have university presidents being fired in McCarthy-era style Inquisition hearings, right? So the idea that, oh no, Trump, I'm sorry, you cannot win that argument with me because I see what the Democrats are doing. And by the way, let me just say this. Which camera are we going to use? I need to look directly into the camera for this one. Let's look directly into this camera. If you sign your name next to Team Blue in November, just know that you are writing on the lauch that you have co-signed for the democratic genocide. That you are cool with 200,000 plus of your brothers and sisters in humanity, your brothers and sisters in Islam and in Christianity, because there are many Palestinian Christians. You are okay with them being genocided by your regime. Fear your Lord. How are you going to explain that vote on Judgment Day? How are you going to explain that vote when those 200,000 souls come to you saying, I have been treated unjustly, Lord, give me justice. This one aided my murderer. People think that this is just a political question. Before anything and everything else, I am a man of faith. Who will shield you?
Hold on. I want to just give a huge shout out to Molly Littlebird, who wrote, I just sent off my mail-in ballot and voted third party. Jill all the way. As you should, Molly Littlebird. As you should. Vote third party, vote independent. Break away from the two-party system. I am not going to vote Democrat, and I'm sure as hell not going to vote Republican. Now, this is probably going to be my last election unless somehow I get a second wind in me. But I believe that my good friend, Misty Winston, a.k.a. Sarcasm Stardust, is absolutely correct. Electoral politics is meaningless. Now, I'm not going to endorse any candidate, but I will openly support third parties and independents. So if you see a third party independent candidate and there's a Democrat and Republican running against them, vote for the third party and independent. That's what we here at Heartland's Media encourage, because I want to make the liberals cry. I do. I really do. And, I'm not being nice. I really want to see the liberals cry because, to me, it's funny. It's funny. I'm laughing, as should all of you.
From this choice, right? The people of Pharaoh didn't choose Pharaoh. They didn't vote for him, but when they stood next to him, they were washed away by a flood. What will be the fate of people who positively affirm that they choose genociders as their leaders?
Again, good stuff here. Now, of course, Jill Stein also decided to weigh in. And Dr. Jill Stein explains why the Green Party is different than other political parties. Let's go and play this.
We are a party that is of, by, and for the people. You can't come to the Green Party and write a check for $1 million. That's different from the Democratic or the Republican Party or the Libertarian Party or Robert F. Kennedy's campaign. They all use these legalized loopholes for corruption. It is that corruption that has really made our lives in great jeopardy, all of us. These endless wars abroad are impoverishing us here at home, and they are endangering all of us as this genocidal war on Gaza is being expanded before our very eyes, first to the West Bank over the last many weeks as that massacre has spread to the West Bank, and now first with the pager explosions in Lebanon, and then with the bombing and the missile strikes, the horrific violence inflicted on Lebanon, now then turning into an actual ground invasion by Israel into Lebanon. The Green Party is the one party that actually went on record as opposing the Israeli policy of ethnic cleansing and apartheid way back in 2006. So we are not new to this struggle.
I want to play one more video too, because obviously the Democrats are really also trying to harp on the fact that, when Kashama Sawant said that the goal isn't to win, no, the goal is to win by building a political movement. Voter turnout, if the Greens are successful in getting 5% or more, they'll be recognized as a legitimate party in the United States. That's a win, because you know what that means? It means they'll be on equal footing. And you know what? Just out of fairness, I want to see the Libertarians get that too. I want to see the success of third parties and independents in the United States. But see, the Democrats, they don't like that abandoned Harris, which was originally abandoned Biden, is going all in with the Green Party. This could be a huge boost for third parties. And that little campaign ad that the Democrats did that got the approval of Kamala Harris, you think that's going to make all third party voters or Green Party voters say, oh, gee Willikers, you know what? I'm going to vote Democrat because that campaign ad that was played on BSDNC with Mika from Morning Blow is going to really change my mind. No, that should add more fuel to the fire. Green Party voters, third party voters, independents. The Democratic Party is afraid of you. The Democratic Party is afraid of you.
Actually, let me just say a word about winning the election. There are many ways to win this election. And you never let your opponent tell you what the win is. We define what the win is. So the biggest win is to get to the White House and turn the White House into a greenhouse and make the world a better place for it. So what would it take to do that? Well, in 2020, 1 out of every 3 eligible voters did not vote. They refused to vote for the parties of Ware and Wall Street and their candidates being rammed down our throats. They would not cast a vote. So 1 out of every 3 eligible voters did not vote. They tend to be young, of color, and lower income. Exactly the people to whom our social justice agenda speaks. So could we get the word out to them and encourage people to vote and to register to vote who are not registered? I wouldn't rule it out in this election. I'm not holding my breath, but on the other hand, I'm not ruling it out. And you never know how far you can go unless you aim for what it is that you really want and what it is that you really need. So we are pulling out all the stops. We are unapologetic. This country needs to remove the warmongers from power before they get us all killed. And in my opinion, the faster we do that, the better. But there are many other ways to win. There are ways to win by teaching any practitioner of genocide that they will not be reelected. And that applies to Kamala Harris. Donald Trump has said he will do the same thing. So in my view, I want to defeat them both. I don't see one as better than the other in my own view, but our views converge here. And our views converge in a campaign that is demanding an end to the genocide now. And how grassroots campaigns work is by word of mouth, by social media, by flyering, by tabling, by phone banking, and by door knocking. We are coordinating that in our campaign at jillstein2024.com, and join us if you are not already plugged in to that kind of grassroots action, because it's that grassroots action that can really kindle the fire, or shall we say, spread the fire, because Abandon Harris has already kindled that fire. They have been the match that has really lit the spark of hope and of justice and of light. And there are so many people who are hungry for that message and who will stay home if they don't hear that message.
Exactly. And speaking of which, now look, I know I played a segment from corporate media, and I do apologize for you guys, sitting through corporate media. But see, the thing is, I also want to give a huge shout out to this person, Gene Debs fan, tip $5. Eugene Debs of Indiana. Whatever working person votes Democrat or Republican is a traitor to the entire working class. Absolutely. Break away from the two-party system. Break away from it. But I want to play this quick video here too, because remember, folks, I mentioned how Abandon Biden, which is now Abandon Harris, which is more dedicated than uncommitted ever will be. It's quite clear that the Democrats are afraid of losing key swing states because Democrats are worried about losing Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Democrats, you're going to have a lot more to worry about, because every time Kamala speaks, people get disgusted. Every time you guys start bullying third parties and independents, that adds more fuel to the fire. Don't let anybody bully you on social media telling you, you got to vote for Kamala because we have to stop Trump. Democrats, it's your job to earn votes, not bully for votes. And you know what? I encourage my audience, if you see people being bullied or someone's trying to bully you to vote for Kamala, push back. Be mean. Be meaner. It's okay. You have the Hard Lens Media approval.
You can hear some of the concern from Democrats. Axios has this piece, Behind the Curtain, Dems Blue Wall Blues. Top Democratic politicians.
The Democrats' blue wall blues. Bam, 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 bam. We got the blue wall blues. Bam, bam, bam. Because they got blue ball blues. Bam, bam. They just don't want to vote for us anymore. We got people angry at us, and that's not fair. We got the blue wall blues. Oh, too bad, Democrats. Too bad. So sad. Oh, but guys, listen. Hug a liberal. They're not okay.
And operatives tell us the vital states of Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania are getting tougher for Vice President Harris and the party's Senate candidates. Harris is depending on that blue wall to win the White House, even if she struggles in the Sun Belt. On private calls from top Harris allies are saying they believe the race will come down to Pennsylvania and Michigan. Some polls are shifting there. Let's bring in our panel. Ben Domenech, editor-at-large for The Spectator, host of the Ben Domenech podcast on Fox News Radio. Fox News senior political analyst Juan Williams, and Fox News Sunday anchor Shannon Bream. All right, Shannon, you can kind of hear the jitteriousness. Is there a word there? Jitter?
I think so.
You can hear the jitters.
You're going to trademark it now, officially for all time moving forward. These states are all really problematic because they have, in many of these states, the Senate races as well. So Democrats have more than one thing to worry about. Think about Michigan. President Trump there today making his pitch to the Detroit Economic Club. He's talking about higher tariffs and all kinds of things that would block out foreign imports on the auto industry. He's really trying to make his case there. At the same time, that you have got a problem there for Democrats in that, remember, during the primary, more than 100,000 people voted uncommitted. That was when President Biden was on the ticket. It was part of this Abandon Biden team, which has now become Abandon Harris. That's a movement that has now endorsed Jill Stein. So a lot of tricky problems with the Middle East and with populations there in Michigan. And that's just one of the states where she's got trouble.
Yeah, Ben, I don't think Democrats are looking at the rollout, the media rollout, as a positive. And they're trying to figure out a new strategy for the next, 26 days tomorrow.
But they don't have a strategy. And no matter what the Democrats do, it's going to be absolute ass. Now, I do want to pull up something here real quick, just because, folks, The Democrats and a lot of liberals, I mean, they are so triggered. And by the way, shout out to Amelia, double haters unite. Absolutely. Because look, folks, everybody shut up for 1 minute. Tom Hartman is saying, is it possible that Jill Stein will repeat her effort to deny the Democratic candidate the presidency and reinstall Donald Trump in the White House? And he wrote an article from the Hartman Report. Jill Stein, the grifter who may hand Trump the White House again. Bull. By the way, I want to read a response that Roger Meadows wrote. Okay, it seems you forgot how we elect presidents. It's called the Electoral College, not the popular vote. For the third party to be a spoiler, they would have to have won Electoral College votes. Just in case you didn't know, Tom. Oh, keep on. Hey, Roger, stop being mean. But George Wallace in 1968 was the last third-party candidate to win Electoral College votes. So no third-party candidate running for president has ever been a threat. Not John Anderson, not Ross Perot, not Ralph Nader, not Jill Stein, and not Howie Hawkins. So, as we say in the community that you ignore, that you have always took for granted as a Democrat in the black community, miss me with that bullshit. Mandatory thumbs up for Roger Meadows, because this jagoff here, Tom Hartman, wrote this article about how Jill Stein's a grifter, same old propaganda, but how? Jill, and by the way, reading this first sentence, you know this article's complete ass. Jill Stein doesn't give, as the old saying goes, a flying F about democracy. We don't have a democracy, Tommy boy. We have a constitutional republic. We have a constitutional republic. Say that to a liberal. Watch them get triggered. Fresh off her 2016 political quacksalvery in which she handed that year's election to Donald Trump, this professional grifter who's been doing real damage to the Green Party for over a decade is trying to get Trump back into the White House. Oh, I didn't get that memo. Third parties, Green Party people. Green Party people. Turns out Jill Stein's a secret Trumper. And of course, then again, too, once again, even Tom Hartman, even writing for Common Dreams, Jill Stein's dangerous game could put a fascist Trump back in the White House. Oh, no. Oh, no. Tom, look, I love you, but you are not a serious person. You have Trump derangement syndrome. Symptoms include wetting your pants when you see Trump on the TV, crapping your pants when you hear Trump on the radio, and crying in the corner and crapping and pissing yourself at the same time when you see Trump on the internet. I mean, my goodness, you're supposed to be a serious person, and yet you're claiming that somehow a support for Jill Stein is a vote for Trump. No, a vote for Jill Stein is a vote for Jill Stein. Shout out again to Roger Meadows. I mean, again, oof, Roger. And just so you all know, everything that Roger is saying is truth here. Okay, it seems you forgot how we elect presidents. It's called the Electoral College, not the popular vote, because in a normal democracy or republic, popular vote, it's end all be all. But in the United States, it doesn't mean crap because we have the Electoral College. For the third party to be a spoiler, they would have to have won Electoral College votes. And I want to see the Green Party do that this election cycle, just to piss off the libs. Just in case you didn't know, Tom, but George Wallace in 1968 was the last third-party candidate to win the Electoral College votes. So no third-party candidate running for president has ever been a threat. Not John Anderson, not Ross Perot, not Ralph Nader, not Jill Stein, and not Howie Hawkins. So as we say in the community that you ignored, that you have always took for granted as a Democrat in the black community, miss me with that bullshit. Continue on with the rest of this video from Case Study QB.
It's more a sign of concern than it is a positive for the campaign. And I think that this is the danger of running a campaign that runs on vibes. You know, when the vibes are bad, then things start to fall apart. I think the real problem that they're dealing with at this moment, and this is looking at the polling that we have coming out of these blue wall states, as you referenced, and, you know, private polling that I've looked at from a number of, you know, prominent PACs, et cetera, who are active in these Senate races. What we really see is Kamala Harris has maximized her capacity when it comes to the female vote, and she's actually starting to bleed some male voters, particularly college-educated male voters, that she needs in order to win these states. There's concerns also that are animating a lot of the different things that we're hearing from Democrats in these Senate races, in Wisconsin, in Michigan, in Pennsylvania, and those concerns indicate problems for the Kamala Harris campaign that she really doesn't seem to be addressing yet.
Yeah, Juan, she's out in Arizona and Nevada. She's doing a Univision town hall. If you look at Arizona and Nevada in the Hispanic voter presidential preference, she does have a lead, but you look at those numbers and then you compare what Joe Biden did in voter preference in 2020.
Hob Semper Fi, Marine. Jill Stein, a secret Trumper? But Trump is Fidel Castro communist? I guess we got to vote for Jill Stein. And in case for those of you watching, we did a segment earlier where Obama was talking down to black male voters. And then he did another speech where he compared Trump to Fidel Castro. Sorry, Trumpers. You lost. The game was rigged from the start. You were always communists. Every single one of you. All 88 million Trump supporters out there. Welcome to the party, comrades. Watch, every Trumper's going to wake up. We've always been communists. We've always been communists. It's too late now.
And those numbers are a slimmer margin than what we saw in 2020. Those are the state polls. Give me the voter analysis, Hispanic voter preference in 2020. Nope, those are not it either. Those are the male. There we go. Got it finally. That's the spread in 2020, much bigger than she's seeing. If you go back one, it's all the male Hispanics where Trump is dominating, and that is showing some dominance and some slippage like we're seeing in the black vote.
Right, but again, in both cases, the question is with these males, and it's kind of like, you know, macho man type appeal that Trump has to male voters.
No. Remember. Mark Cuban and Obama are saying that Trump is a Fidel Castro Stalin communist, okay? All right? If you want to be a manly man, you vote third party and independent.
Not only among Hispanics and blacks, but among white men. It's very strong. And it has some impact with those minority male voters. The question becomes for political professionals, are those voters likely to turn out? And when you come to turnout, they're just not very likely. And the other thought, you know, from the Harris camp is those people in the past have come home. But at the moment, you'd have to say it's a point of concern, genuine concern.
I mean, you hear it too in Democratic circles.
In a tight race, it could be the point of losing.
But you hear this concern that it's starting to pop up, or is this all about trying to, you know, Democrats getting fearful and trying to motivate other Democrats that this is really important?
No, I hear it as realistic. But I mean, I got to tell you, I think that there's a lot of fear among Democrats of losing. I mean, they see it in apocalyptic terms, you know. But I mean, you know, you start thinking about Trump in Detroit today, and I think Trump is like throwing things out there, like, you know, throwing spaghetti at the wall. I'll give you a tax cut. I'll give you a tax cut. You know, I mean, it's like, wow, I think he has some concerns about losing.
But wait a second. I mean, obviously, Vice President Harris is throwing out $25,000 here for homes and $50,000 here. I mean, it is like the Oprah Winfrey kind of election here. You get a car. You get a car.
This is what candidates do.
Yeah.
And how much.
All right, we're not going to sit through too much more of this BS. So what can we learn here? The Democrats are panicking. They're afraid. They're afraid of Jill Stein. You see, the thing is, Democrats, this can all be easily solved is if you maybe debate Jill Stein. If you're so confident in Kamala Harris's ability, and you know what? It doesn't have to be Kamala Harris. Why don't you, hey, AOC, why don't you go ahead and debate Jill Stein? Hey, Bernie Sanders, why don't you go ahead and debate Jill Stein? Why don't both of you, AOC, Bernie, tag team up and face off against Jill Stein and Butch Ware? Go ahead and do it. But they won't do it because the Democrats are running on nothing except fear, making you afraid of Trump derangement syndrome, making you afraid of actually voicing your opinion. To which I have to say to you, my viewing audience, vote however which way you want. And if you're choosing not to vote, that's your choice too. Hard Lens Media believes in all of you exercising your first and fundamental right of protecting your right and ability to be a free speech individual and also vote however which way you want. This system does not have any obligation to you. So you don't have to vote Democrat or Republican. You can actually be a brave person and be a double hater and say F you to the Democratic Party and Republican Party. The Democrats are afraid. They're afraid, and they should be afraid because they abandoned us. So now, Democrats, you're going to start crawling to me, asking me for money, telling me that if I vote for Jill Stein, it's going to help Trump. Beg at me harder, cry at me harder, and watch me still give you the middle finger.
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days and to still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to save. And when they told you everything was safe, were you safe? Were you safe? Were you safe? Were you safe? I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days and to still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to say. And when they told you everything was safe, were you safe? Were you safe? Were you safe? Were you safe?
Fresh off the masses, the brand new cancerous growth, who has come here to vie for your vote. Come here to cry at the camps and to mourn at the shore for the bodies that float by the wreck of an immigrant boat. Then it's back to their luxury home, couple security booths and a moat. Couple cigars, little escargot, little booze and a soak. Just breathe in the steam and the smoke. Pink salt, lavender, candles are low. Shit, when you do what you do, gotta lighten the load. And he got a life of his own that's a sight to behold. And it's a lot to control, to decipher the code, or to siphon the soul. The cost of a good night's sleep for the working elite is a bargain, no matter the toll. Worth any wager, and that comes straight from the mouth of the means to the goal that will swallow us whole. Right for the picking if you don't mind mold, and you know I don't. Maybe we're pleasantly prone, maybe we're taking a licking, compliantly ticking and ticking and ticking, but never explode. No, I don't deliver the prettiest image, but damn if it isn't an accurate vision of natural fission, of rage at the system and abject heartbreak, patiently waiting for any who will listen. That little blue bird who was watching your words is a federal carrier pigeon, a Langley first. It's a patient observer who hears what it wants and is trained for the worst. Oh, you got nothing to hide. They'll be the ones to decide that after they root through your purse, after they read all your text, after they raid your apartment, confiscate all of its contents, then conjure up evidence out of the air on a wing and a prayer and malicious intelligence nonsense. Any presumption of innocence long since gone, right along with your comforts and constants. Historically first they will come for the communists. So why in the fuck would I say I'm a communist? Well, it might be I love my community more than the monsters of opulence who are holding us hostage, who are vomiting promises. Might be I'm all done seeing our pensions and benefits harvested. Might be I'm all done watching the populace being disarmed in the guise of an armistice. Watching a woman collapse on the floor who will rise no more. She's wheeled out the door and you're next in line for the pharmacist. If you can get me to vote, it's a hard no confidence. But part of the charm of deception is politics wearing the mask of incompetence. It's all in the art of austerity, darling. It's all in the slide of the providence. Until home is as wide as your cubicle height and it's only as deep as your coffin is. Maybe I'm miles away from impatience, aching to break off the head of the snake where the capital lust, reptile brain, and the margin of profit is. Like off with his. Like off with his.
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days and to still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to save. And when they told you everything was safe, were you safe?